Hello, everyone, and as always, welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. And today, we're finding one, I guess. This is Decisive Campaigns Ardennes Offensive. This is the fourth game in the Decisive Campaigns series. Now, this is a lone developer. He goes by VR Designs as the company name. But you may be familiar with his other Decisive Campaigns games. I really like the Barbarossa game. Oh, I like all three of the games. They're really, really well done. Now, what's different here? Ardennes Offensive is going to be on a little bit of a smaller scale, but meaning regiment and battalions as opposed to divisions and corps. So you get down to that regiment battalion level and even smaller when it comes to some of the artillery. But it's still that same system. These are great games. And so you may be familiar with the other three games. You may also be familiar with maybe his most, I guess, famous game, and that would be Shadow Empire. And Shadow Empire is probably one of the very best strategy games that's come out over the last several years. And so it's the same developer. He's doing these. He went back to this Decisive Campaign series. Some people were like, no, no, make Shadow Empire 2, which I would imagine he will do at some point. But he really loves these games. So anyway, let's go ahead and hit play and see what we see here. I want to thank Matrix for sending me an advanced copy of this. The game will be coming out on November 18th. November 18th. And so, unless you've stumbled across this channel by mistake, you probably know what the Battle of the Bulge is. And that is the Ardennes Offensive, obviously, in December of 44. The Germans massed in the west for one kind of last hope offensive to try to break the Americans and the Brits and the Canadians. I should just say allies, right? I don't want to offend anyone. All of the allies in the west had pushed the Germans back into Germany, and this was the last gasp offensive of the Germans in the West. It was actually incredibly successful given the relative strengths of the two sides at that point. And so, anyway, you play through this. Now, when you see, I'm just going to go ahead and click through that. You can watch the story at your leisure on November 18th and read through it. But I want to show you some parts of the game. Now, we're not going to really play the game today. I just wanted to show it to you and give you a little taste of what this game's all about. Now, there are two campaign scenarios, all right? And I haven't, gone deep dive into this thing yet, but my understanding is this would be the German scenario. This would be the Allied scenario. You can play either sides in this game. There are also medium-sized scenarios. When you see this map, it is not small at all, and you're playing at a battalion regiment level, so there is a big map. Is it War in the East 2 size? Maybe not quite that big, but there's a lot going on this map. But you can play medium scenarios if you want to, St. Vith, 82nd Airborne, Bastogne, so on and so forth. Smaller scenarios, even smaller ones here that they have. So if you just want to kind of wet your beak at this thing and see what it's all about, you can do that as well. Let's just go ahead and click on this, and we'll see what options pop up here. And I did want to look at the map and just kind of go around to how the game works a little bit. And as you can see up here, AI difficulty, challenging, hard, very hard. You can see what the bonuses are. Very hard would be the AI gets a 30% movement bonus and gets a 40% combat bonus. Okay, there's Fog of War. You can either pick historical weather, random weather, or bad weather. Okay, you can see made for play by email with passwords, hide AI moves, so on and so forth. Then down here you can see right now we've got Axis as human because we picked the Axis campaign, and Allies AI. I think I was gonna click. You know what? Look, I won't cheat by really looking, but I want you to see the whole map. So let's take Fog of War off. We'll just keep, historical weather on, fast AI speed, normal AI speed. He does this in his games that, you can slow down the AI so it has more time to compute things, or you can really speed it up. Let's just do normal. Let's do normal for the first time looking at this. Scenario, Allied order of battle. You can see what our order of battle is here. The 21st Army Group under Montgomery. We have the 12th Army Group under Bradley. The Americans' 1st Army under Hodges. And you can go down and see the entire order of battle here. There is an editor, which will be exciting for people because ultimately you could play almost the whole Western Front with this editor, assuming people start cranking out scenarios. You can see your reinforcements, so reinforcements will be coming in. German OOB here under Model, Dietrich. So we've got 6th Panzer, Army Group B, 5th Panzer. Oh, okay. Anyway, I was just kind of looking down through the OOB here. So let's keep it like this. Let's say the axis is human. That way the game won't just start doing AI right off the top because the Germans do go first. Let's read about the scenario very quickly. This is the 16th through the 31st of December, 1944. It is 64 turns. Every day has, well, I guess we could calculate it here, has about 4 to 5 turns per day. So that'll give you a little bit of an idea of the scale that we're talking about as far as time, and also, like I said, you're really down on that regimental level. So it's a little more small ball than some of his other games. The first plan of the major counteroffensive on the Western Front was secretly discussed during September of 44, and Hitler hoped to launch such an attack against Patton's Third Army during the fighting for Metz. A more detailed plan was approved by Hitler mid-October, and the 28th of October he spoke of the plan to a perplexed von Rundstedt. Yeah, I bet you he was he was perplexed. With a proposed start date of November of 44, the offensive would be against the line from Monschau to Echternach, with Antwerp as the ultimate goal. The plan was kept secret up to the last moment. I'll let you read all of that. Let's take a peek at the map. All right, now this game system is very much like his other game systems. There are cards that you can play. Now, I don't want you to get the wrong idea. Sometimes you say cards and immediately wargamers just, that's it, they're out. That doesn't seem realistic. These cards are more like you have a supply card, and if you want to beef up supply somewhere, it's almost like giving an order, right? It's like, you know, let's send more supply here, so you quote unquote play the card, but it's really like giving orders. So let's start the turn. Okay, and you can see round 1 conditions: day type morning, weather type overcast, temperature type just below 0, weather predictions, and you can see every one of these has 7 rounds. So this will be today. So I said that each, there's 4 to 5 turns per day. It's more like rounds is what they really call them. Round 2, day, overcast, just below 0. You can see, then we get into the mist in the afternoon. The scenario does not use random weather, thus there is a 0% chance the predictions are mistaken. Okay, so this is definitely the weather you're going to get because we did historical weather. You can pick random weather or you can pick bad weather. I guess with random weather, it'd be like, there's a 30% chance of rain. Anyway, press any key. Axis has 42 VPs occupied on the map. Axis needs 100 for a major, 80 for a minor. If they end with less than 50, it's a major Allied victory. Less than 80, it's a minor Allied victory. Last round to be played is January 1st, 1945. Okay. There's been no losses, obviously. We're just starting the game. Cards received this turn: supply drop, air recon, paradrop, minor depot, medium depot, repair bridge, new bridge, German truck. You can read through all these when you get the game. But the basic idea is these are really just orders. He calls them cards. Sometimes I wish he didn't do that because I know that turns some wargamers off. Just I know it does. They're like, I don't want to play a card game. Some people like it. Some people like card type things. All these are just orders. We need to build a new bridge here. Okay, play the card. Well, you gave the order. And here's the map. All right. So we can zoom in or zoom out here, and you can see now all this are how much its command radius is. You can see green, yellow, gets out to blue, and then red. This is a command radius type deal. This is Army Group B, right? Um, and so, you can see what it's got in the Army Group. Let's go click on an actual unit. This is Grenadier Regiment here. So you can see it's at a regimental level, and you can zoom in. Matter of fact, let's just zoom in here. This is a Pioneer Battalion, okay? This is its headquarters, the 560th Grenadier Division, and then you can see what makes this up. 480 Pioneers, 16 of these. We've got 8 of the 251s. You've got 6 Panzerschrecks, 4. Let's look at these. Oh, awesome. Okay, so you can click right on that. I guess I should have known that from the other games. You can click on it, and it gives you an absolute breakdown of everything that's in here. Yeah, this is the armored half tracks, which could bring a squad of 10 soldiers into battle, along with the tanks. You can see up here, it's defense, it's hard attack, hard defense ratings, it's soft attack, and it's soft defense ratings, and it's light flak. So it's got light flak here. You can see how many action points in these games. They get, 100 action points is kind of the base. Attack startup penalty, I'd have to look into that. Attacks 1, base morale, current entrenchment, so on and so forth. It's in his games, he's got a very detailed supply and logistics gameplay. If you've played Shadow Empire, you know that supply and logistics mean everything in that game. Supply max organic storage, basic supply use, so it looks like you get about 6 turns or 6 rounds of supply at the top. Nope, it's more than that. Supply per defensive combat round, supply per offensive. Oh, okay, that's excellent. Yeah, when they break these up like this. So it costs more when you're on the offensive for your supply, whereas, on defense, you can sit there quite a bit longer and not use up as much supply. Makes sense, right? Supply max replenish per turn. You can see that. You can compare that. Oh, you can compare it against any other element in the game. Interesting. So you compare it against the howitzer, and now you've got the howitzer up here. You can see what its defense is. Its hard attack soft. Its artillery range is 11. Man, I love his games. They're super detailed. You can see, okay, so that's the symbol for this division. But yeah, like I said, you get down on the regimental level here. Now we know the Americans are over here. That's the 112th Infantry Regiment. Okay, and you can back up here so you can really tell. And let's just kind of look around here a little bit. You can see how big the map is, how many counters there are. So I said small ball, as if this game is small. It is not small. It's just on a lower level, regiment, battalion. If we get up here, we've got what? The Fusiliers out of the 89th Infantry Division. That's their headquarters. And you can get all the way down to the individuals that make up, this battalion. Let's just read. The core foundation of most units, regular infantry is equipped with mortars, machine guns, and small arms like rifles and hand grenades. Infantry lacks punch. Okay, well, we don't have to read all of that. But defense, you see that. Hard attack, hard defense. Soft attack, soft defense. Okay, if we look up here, you can see the strategic map. Now, this isn't, I don't know, this doesn't look incredibly helpful other than you can see the different towns on the map that, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on there. Cards, okay, as I had said, these are just commands. Luftwaffe, ask for more replacements for his ground units, okay. Luftwaffe field divisions, deploy a Feldersatz battalion, okay. You can infiltrate a spy team, essentially. You can bring in the SS if you want. You've got rear stuff replacements here, fuel, German trucks, supply and replacements, air support. This is reduced right now. That's probably because of the weather, if I had to guess. We could read more about this, but there's recon, ground attack, and then you can build a minor depot, a major depot, or a medium depot. As you can see, each one of these cards has a certain number of points, and you can only play so many points. Here is the conditions on the ground for each round. You've got the supply report. Okay, good to know. Replacements report, victory conditions, fuel. As you can see, I mean, logistics are a huge part of this game. Here's your order of battle, so you can go all the way down your order of battle and trace through what's being commanded and where it is. You can look under Seventh Army. You can look under Army Group B, which includes the what is the 74th Corps. You've also got two SS Panzer Corps. Then down here, I mean, you can just keep going all the way down this order of battle. You've got the stats. We start with 122,000 troops, Axis allies, and this is for everything. You can go through every single stat. How many, howitzers do we have? Well, right now it's zero. At least of the 155 millimeter variety, 22 millimeter flak. Well, we got 194 of those. Regime statistics. Okay, well, this tells you the big kind of overall replacements, whatnot. But his games have a lot of stats. If you're into that, you can read the brief of what's going on. Of course, the usual preferences. You can go through and kind of customize the game a little bit as you will. But let's just look back at the map for a second. I think it's actually quite a pretty map when you look down on it. Some people I know, would like better graphics, but I actually, for what this game is, which is a hex and counter game, it's essentially a board game on a computer. You can see here is that 74th core that's sitting back here. And then up to there's your artillery. Here we've got 89th Infantry Division. Okay, so this is a command that goes back to the division back to the corps, and then you've got Grenadier regiments. Okay, yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys this game. I'm going to dig, and you've got different colors. You can give these different divisions. You can give them different colors. You can see they're already divvied up a little bit. This has got a little more gold here, silver, got a purple down here for this division. What division is this? It just says the Volksgrenadier Division, the 326th, okay? And then you can see when you're on the headquarters how far away it is and what the command radius is and whatnot. But as you can see, I mean, there are a lot of counters on the map. Just because it's a battalion regiment game doesn't mean it's small. Oh, also, I should click down here. You can see what's in supply in green there. Different groups. You can see what groups are there. Move. This is movement mode. Stack and mini. Oh, you can bring up the mini map and you can what stack you're on. It'll show right there. Oh, cool. Okay. Shown. Yeah. All right. Oh, I see. It's shown and hidden. Down here, you can see everything from action points, headquarter power, supply consumption, supply attack modifier. I mean, just stats for days. Entrenchment, morale, experience. This is awesome. I can't wait to dig into this game. Intercept fire mode, trigger happy. So if they're getting fire, I assume this is returning defensive fire. Interesting. Huh. Combat mode, go to march mode. No, ask subordinates. Anyway, we'll be digging much more into this game as time goes on here. But I just wanted to show it to you. Thanks again to Matrix for sending it over to me. I will eventually, I'm sure, do a tutorial on this, and we'll also probably do a little bit of a playthrough. But anyway, this has been Strategy Gaming Dojo. Thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.